Hello everybody and welcome to my place on the internet, where I am your host, Peter aka the MuttonChopGuy, where I jump into the sprawling world of manga to talk about a very niche genre within it, known as Gei Komi. Or Bara if you're somebody in the West, because apparently a lot of people in the West like that term more than Gei Komi. Don't know why I had to explain that.
This guy.
Yes, I'm terribly sorry that this video took me as long as it did. Work has been really crazy, and I thought it was going to slow down after getting out of the summer season, only for it to get more turbulent for me, I guess is the word I'll use, in terms of work. So yes, I'm terribly sorry that this took me a while, and I certainly hope that work actually really starts to die down where I can actually start cranking out more work and get more videos out. But, you know, can do the best that I can in terms of making videos.
And I'm doing my best. I'm just doing my best. Just doing my best.
So, what is it that I'm going to be talking about today in this video is another recommendation from one of my Discord members. And yes, this is a very interesting one because this opened my eyes to a layer of, I don't even know what to call it, like maybe subgenres or whatever a sub of a subgenre is. You guys probably know the term better than I do. If you do, please put down in the comment section below. But this is a very interesting manga because it introduced me to how certain, I guess, kinks can actually be used rather well in terms of narrative projections, or in terms of just narrative in general. So, what is it I'm going to be talking about is a manga known as Stockholme Syndrome by Kasu. And if you're looking at the title and the cover of this manga, you probably already know what's going to be happening. But without further ado, let's just jump right into things. The story begins with a bank robbery, which, wow, already off to a crazy start.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
This is where we meet our first character, Debo, who takes a hostage, being our second character, Coco. Once Debo got the loot from the bankers, he goes to flee, but gets shot in the foot by the police. And he kidnaps Coco to escape custody. Debo gets his getaway car and drives off to a secluded location, takes a shower, and reflects on his score of 6,000 pounds. Wait, 6,000 pounds? Wait, hold on, let me do the conversion rate to American dollars and... Damn! That is a lot!
Yes, definitely.
His only issue left is what he's going to do with his newly acquired hostage, who is tied up to a bedpost. He then makes him give up whatever cash he had on him, uses it to buy dinner, and goes to sleep. Just for his hostage to have a bathroom accident on the floor, since he wasn't able to reach the toilet, and takes a beating for it. Wow, this guy is pretty brutal. I mean, come on, dude, you had him tied up to a bedpost and he couldn't get to the bathroom. Like, you didn't really give him any alternative here.
But what does that have to do with it?
No. He's got a point.
The next day, he extends the rope so Coco can move about the apartment, gives Coco instructions before leaving to buy more cigarettes. While Debu is gone, Coco contemplates on his chances of escaping, concluding that he should get on his captor's good graces for the time being. Debu returns to find Coco setting the dinner table with breakfast he prepared for Debu, to learn that he was a butler. Debu eats the meal, rather viciously mind you, and becomes acquainted with Coco afterwards, with offering him a cigarette. Which, I love this part where Debu helps Coco light it with his own cigarette. Like, damn, this is hotter than it should be for me.
That was cute. I liked that. I liked that a lot.
Debu asks Coco if he has anyone special out there, only to learn that Coco has never been on a date, or even had a partner in his life, confessing that he doesn't know what it's like to be loved. Wow, that just tugged on my heartstrings. Later that evening, Debo offers Coco a place in his bed, as long as he does what he's told, to which Coco agrees gleefully and joins him in the bed. Some time passes and Coco is doing his chores in order to keep on Debu's good side, when Debu starts banging on the door. After scolding Coco for not answering the door faster, he shows him that he bought a coat for him to wear, in order to prevent Coco from getting sick. He puts on the coat to see that it fits him nicely, and Debu offers Coco another cigarette. While they're smoking, Coco's thoughts on escaping start to fade away, drifting with each passing drag off the cigarettes. Eventually, Debo loosens his grip on Coco with not having to tie him up while he's home, and then gets to the point where they can go shopping together. While shopping, a couple of guys knock Coco down, which causes Debo to react in anger, only for Coco to stop him from drawing attention to themselves. They return home, and while there, you can see Debo contemplating saying something to Coco, but decides not to. The next day, Debo is working with his accomplices to get clean bills before hanging up the phone. He runs into, quote, run-of-the-mill passerby, who tells him about how his happiness is closer than he thinks, before his injury starts to get worse. He runs home, pushes Coco out of the way to the bathroom, and attempts to clean his wound. Coco sees what he's trying to do, and feels compelled to help him with his medical experience from the war he served in. What follows is a story of two people who haven't had anyone to be with, and in some strange happenstance, found each other, going through a series of challenges that resulted in an unlikely outcome you didn't know you would root for. This is an interesting story that has a very intriguing premise that I didn't think I was going to like, but I like how well the story was written with how the author handled it. The first thing I need to cover is the apparent kink within the story, which is hypnotism. I wasn't very familiar with this as a kink, or genre, or subgenre, whatever. But I can understand the appeal behind it, and this story kind of sold me on it. I have been informed that this kink tends to go a bit harder than what you read in this story, meaning into the non-con territory that can turn a lot of people away. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the non-con stuff either, especially if the author handles it poorly by my estimation, but I always leave that up to you as my viewer to arrive to your own conclusion. When it comes to hypno, as it is called, there are a plethora of ways one becomes hypnotized, and in this story the tool used here is the cigarette smoke. This lines up with the typical aphrodisiac trope, but I like the subtlety with using the cigarette smoke as someone wouldn't suspect it. The next thing I want to cover is the dynamic between Coco and Debo. Just like the title of the story suggests, this is loosely based on that phenomenon, but of course it doesn't really accurately represent the true form of that syndrome, though Stockholm Syndrome is a heavily contested thing in the psychology field, but it does work well for a story dynamic like we see here, and the hypno element lends to it extremely well, to the point that it makes more sense in fiction than how it works in reality. There is also a very clear dominant and submissive dynamic with these two, but it's handled in a way that makes them feel like they're equalized in the end, with how the author fleshes out each character's motivations and actions, while also giving this feeling of cosmic forces gravitating them towards each other. Debo being the hardened criminal who gets cheated out of his score, Coco being the kind-hearted butler who only wants to help, and how both served in the military that gave them a strong connection to bond over. This only lends to magnify the investment of each character makes for the other, even when Debo had his moment where he felt unworthy to have someone like Coco. I also like how this dynamic had the older character in the submissive role, giving a twist on what people normally would think when they see a setup like this. Now, there is one aspect that I had an interesting conversation with a friend of mine about Debo and Coco's backstory in the war. He asked me why didn't Coco use his training to escape? That's a great question, but it's more complicated than you would expect. 1. Debo is also trained by the military, so the power struggle these two would be fairly equal in terms of tactics. 2. Debo had the advantage of tying Coco up and was armed with a gun. And 3. Coco thought it was the best way to stay on Debo's good side until he had more time to think, but the hypno element is what makes him forget on trying. There is a particular side character that has come into question regarding their purpose in the story, and that is this horned demon looking character. This is being discussed as the author's self-insert into all of their stories, as this character shows up in a lot of the author's works. How this character acts as the cosmic force bringing these two together? For a price, of course. Using the cigarettes as the method in which the hypnotism is enacted on all characters involved. And I actually like how this worked in the story. Even if this character is a self-insert of the author, at least the character isn't the center of attention and parading around the story like some amazing Mary Sue stereotype that everyone really likes to talk about, especially lately nowadays. So take note, if you like to insert your own special character but don't want to turn off your audience with it, this is probably the way you should do it then. After reading as much manga as I have, and believe me, it's a lot, it amazes me how well Japanese artists make kimono art look just so good. Granted, these characters don't fall into the typical body sizes Gei Komi is known for, but damn do these characters look so good. I also really like how the artists use many of the techniques that really give the world this story takes place a tangible feeling that I always appreciate. The character models also work for me, as I can clearly read the thoughts and emotions on their faces. All of this lends to the weight of the story, and makes it have more of a punch with how the artist drew each panel. There really isn't much more I can say about the art, other than I can't wait to read more from this mangaka, and then get to share it with all of you. I really like how this gives me the noir genre vibes with everything from the clothes, the setting, and the characters. Also, am I the only one that's getting the Lupin the Third vibes from this art style? No? Just me? Okay, I'll just see myself out now. Overall, I think this is a really strong self-contained story that actually has some length to it, as opposed to the usual 24-page one-shots that floods this genre. The characters and their dynamics are written well, while having a great plot structure that I think many people will get into. And the art style really lends to the storytelling that I will always recommend when it's this good. So enjoy!
Alright then, I will.
And that is it. That is all for this video today. I certainly hope you did enjoy what I had to do in this video. It was a really fun story for me to read. I definitely would love to hear what you guys have to say about it. If you have read it, please do not hesitate to comment down in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts on this story too. Again, I'm terribly sorry that it took me so long to make this video. Work's just been so crazy, and hopefully I can crank out some more without having so much interruption from my professional life. Wait, is it making videos professional life, or is that my personal life? I don't know. But I certainly hope that you do like, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. I am happy to see that I'm having steady growth with my channel. It's awesome to see everyone showing support. Really appreciate it. You guys are just validating the work I do. Not validating me, just the work I do, and that's all I care about. So thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. If you have not yet, please do so. If you have any recommendations for me that regards the tags of Bara, Gei Komi, or Men's Love, please do not hesitate to drop it down in the comment section below as well. You can also let me know, because I do have a giant list of recommendations already, and it's growing every day. Please do not hesitate to drop any recommendations that you want. I do know I am trying to work on reviewing another game within this genre, so I can get that out there for you guys. It's kind of hard to find games that actually have some substantial lengths that I can actually talk about, because a lot of the visual novels are really in their early production stages. So I have been waiting very patiently for the creators to do that. So other than that, all my social media stuff is down in the description below. Do not hesitate to follow me there. If you really want to interact with me on more day-to-day basis, please do not hesitate to join my Discord server. It is a great fun time. We always have fun there. We stream games that I'm getting ready to review on there. We talk about the mangas that I'm getting ready to review on there. I also have members in my Discord server starting to make memes about me, like this particular one, which we are calling the MuttonChopGuy. I love this thing. This thing is awesome. If you want to make some memes about me, don't hesitate to do so. It's always fun. Please don't hesitate to join. Other than that, I certainly hope you guys have been enjoying yourself, and I'll catch you guys all in my next video. Bye-bye.